everybody. So today we're talking about Andrew Yang in the polls and ways to register to vote if you're not already registered, or how to change your registration. So first of all, Andrew Yang is polling between 1 and 3% in the national polls, and it's important that he polls on average 2% in at least 4 of the 16 approved polls. So in this video we're going to explain how we can help him do that so he will qualify for the fall debates. He's already got the donors for it, he just needs the polls to be up. Now I will put a link in the box showing the 16 different news stations and universities that conduct these polls. The way they do it, most of them, is random digit dialing, where they basically take random numbers. And most of them only call landlines because it's against FCC regulation to call cell phones if you're using a robo-dialer. There are, I think, 2 that will call cell phones, but most of them won't. So that's the main way, landlines. So if you know people with landlines, talk to them about Andrew Yang. If you have a landline, make sure you answer your phone. Now, a lot of the times, some pollsters will only call those registered as Democrats and some independents. They will not call people that have not voted in the past. And if they do call these people, their results will not be in the polls. There are also a couple of these that will send out polls in the mail. So you'll be able to fill those out and send those back if you ever get one of those. Make sure you do that. Now, a major thing, which we're going to talk about in a minute, is making sure you are registered to vote and you are registered as a Democrat. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to help raise his poll numbers even if they did call you. Now, there are a few that will look into online polls, and there is only one, sorry, these bugs are crazy. There's only one survey site that they pull surveys from, and it's called SurveyMonkey. So it may be worth it, it may not, to sign up for SurveyMonkey, and they will randomly select people from that site to participate in political polls. Also, I believe the University of New Hampshire is the only one that does this, but they will send email polls. So I get a lot of those, but they're spam. You have to make sure it's from one of those listed that is in the description box. So in order to get Andrew Yang polling higher, above 2% in at least 4 of these polls, register as a Democrat, make sure you are registered to vote, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And for those that do call cell phones, make sure you pick up your phone. I get a lot of spam calls, so I do not like to answer my phone, but when I found that out, because they are not going to leave a message, from now on I will be picking up my cell phone to make sure it's not one of those 2 polling places, so that I can be included in these polls as well.
All right, Yang Gang. Now we're talking about how important it is to get these polling numbers up. Well, guess what? The only way to get these polling numbers up is to be registered as a Democrat, okay? Listen, all you Trumpers out there, all you people who are conservative, even libertarians, we got to get registered as Democrats. So what we're on our way to do right now is we're going to be the example for you. And we're going to go get our voting registration changed today. So we are headed to Office Max. We've already went to vote.org, which is a good spot to get your paperwork, but you're going to have to print it off and mail it back. Unfortunately, we ran out of printer ink, so we're on our way to Office Max. But it's one of our favorite places because we're recruiting voters there. So we're on our way there now to get that printed out.
Also, you can go to nass.org to check your voter registration status to see what you're registered as, and in some states you can actually change your registration on that website. So
you heard it. Don't go to nasa.org or you might end up over there with Elon Musk somewhere.
So I guess that was it.
Back.
Links are in the description box.
The links are in the description box. We're headed into Office Max, and we're going to see if we can't find our newest Yang Gang member that works here, and see if we can see if he's registered to vote. All right. So Yang Gang, we struck out on that one to help normal people out, people like me and you. This is his name, and this is his website. Check him out.
So what we're doing today is changing our voter registration to Democrat so that we can vote in the primaries and we can get his numbers polling higher.
I'm actually a Trump supporter. Don't tell anybody. But you know what? My life hasn't changed, just like you were saying. It's like no matter who we vote in, our lives never change. But then I heard this guy talk, and I was like, holy shit, $1,000 a month would impact my life dramatically.
And he's got over 100 policies on his website.
Let me ask you a question. Do you know what the opposite of Donald Trump is? It's an Asian guy who likes math. Yes, we are. Okay, we got our voter registrations, guys. Listen, Yang Gang, it is vitally important that you get your voter registration changed to vote in these polls. If we don't get Andrew Yang polling higher, none of this matters. All this effort is for nothing. All this stuff that we're talking about, how we support Andrew Yang and how we're trying to change this country, none of that matters unless you get up off your ass and get that voter registration mailed in. I'm looking at that paper right there, and it's telling me postmarked 25. It needs to be postmarked 25 days before the election.
And that's for some states.
That's just for the election. But in order to get in on these polls and to get Andrew Yang polling higher, we got to get these turned in, and we got to get registered as Democrats. We got to make this thing so big that like there's this huge influx of Democrats. Not because I like Democrats, because I do. I love y'all too. But as a lifelong Republican and as a lifelong conservative, this is big for us. So y'all got to make it happen. We got to be the change that we want to see in the world. If we want to see that change, then we better be that change. And I'm going to pay attention now before I wreck. Okay. All right, Yang Gang. Operation Broke Folk Vote is officially underway. Here are our papers to register as Democrats. They are going in the box. And we're going to consider this a success. So in 7 to 10 days, we will be registered as Democrats, and they can't keep us out of the polls any longer, Yang Gang. Y'all gotta make this happen. Let's do it.
Yummy, 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 yummy. You. Ah!